Today is Monday, January 1st. Happy New Year, everyone. And I'm wondering, in a game that had massive implications on Saturday, if the Cowboys actually should have won over Detroit.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Now, you listening may not be in charge of purchasing seasonings for your home, but you do know what tastes good, really good. Goodness Steak Seasoning is terrific. No sugar, no MSG, no gluten, great flavor. Get Goodness Steak Seasoning by going to the website bringthetasty.com. Oh, hail. No, I'm not cursing. That's the name of a terrific Dallas roofing company in business more than a decade. They handle residential or commercial properties. And those weird insurance forms that seem to be written in a foreign language? Oh, hail can simplify those for you also. So the next time something happens to your roof, just say, oh, hail. O-H-A-A-I-L. Ohail.com. 20-19 will be the forever recorded result of the Dallas win over Detroit on Saturday. But did the Cowboys really win? They were ahead 20-13 with a minute and a half to go, and Detroit had no timeouts left. But then the Lions drove the length of the field and scored a touchdown with less than a half minute to go. And then conventional wisdom said, trailing 20-19, kick the point and go to overtime. But Dan Campbell of the Lions is not a conventional coach. He's a gambler. He's a big-time gambler in games, and his team believes in him. And he, without question, went for the two-point conversion. He said he and the Lions had discussed this during the week, and if they got in a situation like this, they were going for the win. And they called a trick play. A trick play in which the left offensive tackle, Taylor Decker, a veteran, would become an eligible receiver, sneak into the end zone, and have Jared Goff, the quarterback, throw him back a pass for the two-point conversion. And it worked. It worked. Detroit started to celebrate on the field. And then a flag came out. And the officials ruled that Decker was an ineligible receiver because he had not reported to the referee. If an offensive lineman is to become an eligible receiver, then that lineman must report to the referee before the play. And the referee, Brad Allen, ruled that Decker had not reported. Oh, but wait. The video shows Decker walking up to Allen before the play and getting within a few feet of him. And Decker simply said, he said to Allen, report. Now, Decker's a veteran, and Detroit practiced this play over and over and over again. And Decker knew the rules. Now, what may have happened is the officials got confused between Decker and Dan Skipper, a giant offensive tackle who comes into the games on goal line plays, who had come in earlier in the game and reported as eligible. The officials ruled that wrong, ineligible, and Detroit would not get the two-point conversion. and Detroit would get the loss. Now, this isn't the first time this year that there's been controversy over Brad Allen's officiating crew. In at least 3, maybe 4 other games, there were crucial plays that appeared to have been missed by this officiating crew. And the Lions players were roaring after the game. Cowboys players, they were just relieved. And then this game took on a monster result, because when Philadelphia was stunned by Arizona on Sunday, 35-31, that win of the Cowboys vaulted them into first place in the NFC East instead of being a wild card team. And what does that mean? Well, for the first 2 games at least of the NFC playoffs, Dallas will be home, where they've won 8 in a row this season and 16 in a row over the last 2 seasons. That's a huge advantage for Dallas. And one more thing. If Dallas wins their first game and Detroit, now the number 3 seed, wins their first game, that means the next level of the playoffs would be Detroit coming back to Dallas instead of vice versa, which would have been a possibility had Dallas not won that game on Saturday. Now, this game had some good news and some bad news for the Cowboys. The good news: the defense of the Cowboys had a strong game against the Lions, one of the best offensive teams in the league. The bad news: the offense of the Cowboys, which had been cooking in this stadium and against Detroit defense that had been very vulnerable this season, did not have a very good game. And now it appears the Cowboys have lost starting left guard Tyler Smith to full plantar fasciitis. Whatever really happened on that 2-point conversion, it winds up being really huge for Dallas. Had they gone into the playoffs as a wild card team, they would have been faced with having to win 4 games away to win the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, if Dallas starts winning at home in the playoffs, that controversial 2-point conversion try will be referenced over and over and over and over.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, by Oh Hell Roofing, and by Goodness Steak Seasoning.
Just Wondering is a production of DSP Media for FanStream Sports. You can find Norm's show along with other great programming at fanstreamsports.com.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. If you enjoyed it, please hit follow. Then each episode every weekday will be delivered straight to you. And if we might ask one more favor, please share it with friends. I'm Norm Hitzges, and every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.